All right, I think we'll go ahead and get started. First of all, good afternoon. Welcome to Putnam County Middle School. Thanks for coming out today. My name is Mr. Garber, and I am the middle school principal. Mrs. Freeman is the middle school counselor, and Mrs. Cullum is the middle school secretary. We're glad to have you in our building. We feel we have an excellent staff. We're a very tight-knit staff. They care a lot for the students, and they also aren't afraid to have fun once in a while. So we think that makes a pretty good combination, and most kids who I think have been through our middle school will agree to that fact. Word to the students, you're in middle school now, you're not in elementary, you're going to be given more freedom than what you had in the elementary building. But with that extra freedom, also that requires additional responsibilities. So keep that in mind. All right. If you have trouble following the rules, then you will lose some of the privileges that we've granted you now that you've moved up. We're trying to teach students how to be responsible and move forward, not only to the high school level, but to be responsible members of the community after that. As far as our theme this year, we always have kind of a theme for the middle school, and our theme this year we've decided will be Hawaiian Beach, okay? So we'll be having a number of activities that are geared toward that theme throughout the year that we hope will make things fun for you. I would also add we have excellent facilities here at Putnam County. We ask that you share, like we do, the pride that we have in our school. Treat the school property and the staff with the respect that they deserve. I think if you go to another school of similar size as to what we have here, you would find that our facilities are second to none. All right, and we want to keep them that way. All right, so we ask you to take pride in them and keep them nice, not only for you, but for the students that will be here next year and the years to come. We ask that staff members are addressed as Mr. or Mrs. or Ms. or Coach. All right, we don't use first names when we're addressing the staff. All right, we do want to let you know that we are here for you. We want you to succeed, and if you have issues, then you're always welcome to come talk to myself or Mrs. Freeman or Mrs. Cullum. All right, our doors are open to you. All right, we're going to go through a few things to start off, and I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Freeman. She's going to talk a little bit about scheduling and a few other things, so if you'd welcome her, that'd be great. Good, clap.
Hey, thanks everyone for being here. Can you hear me okay, or do I need to adjust it? Good. Okay. The first thing that I want to go over with you is the schedule. So if you want to take out the white sheet, I'm going to try to go over this and clarify, because this is probably one of the biggest things that students have trouble with coming in, is reading it, and it can be confusing. That's what my older students have informed me, that it's very confusing. So let me grab this one real quick. So at the top, you should, of course, see your name. Make sure it does say your name and your address. Okay, and along the side, on the left-hand side, you'll see a PER, and that stands for the period. So period 1, if you look at that, ignore that course number, the M6201. That doesn't mean anything to you guys, so please don't worry about that. Then the subject. So this one that I'm looking at, period 1, is English for them. And you'll also notice that you are in 6A, 6B, or 6C. It's different in the middle school. You stay with that group most of the day, but yet you get the freedom of moving from class to class. So that A, B, or C, that group, you'll be in your core classes, which is your math, science, communication arts, reading. You'll be with those kids that day. The next one will tell you which room number it's in, and the rooms start at 1 right over here and work their way around to 9. Sorry. If it's a high school course, you'll see an HS in front of it, and then the room number for that. Don't worry about the days. All your classes are Monday through Friday. And then you'll see the instructor. So this one again is English, 6B. And then the teacher is Jenna Sivitz, Mrs. Sivitz. So you'll see that, and that kind of can tell you where to go. Now, if you get lost, you're not sure, the first week I stand out in the hallway, Mr. Garber does. We have older students, some of our older students are right over there leaning against the wall. They will help you, just ask them. Then I'm going to go down here. Some of yours will be different if you look at period 4. Some of you have band. If you don't have band, you will see a semester 1, and that will be for the entire first semester. You might have art, or you might have an elective, okay? Don't worry about second semester right now. Let's just get your first semester down. So if you don't have band, 4th hour, you have an elective class. So it will be art, or it will be with Mrs. Klingensmith, teaching an elective, okay? And what is she doing, Mr. Garber? Reading? Is she reading a book, I think? Okay, I believe that's what she's doing. So then 5th period will be another core class. 6th period will be, this is kind of where your quarters and everything come in. You will either be in reading enrichment, you might see that. You might see PE, and make sure if you're girls, yours says G PE, and if you're a boy, it says B PE. There have been times we put a girl in boys PE, no biggie, just a scheduling mess up, just come see me. So what you'll see off to it is a 6, a dash, and then a T1. Your T1 means quarter 1. So for the first quarter, you'll have PE. Then if you look, maybe the second quarter, you have health, okay? And again, I wouldn't worry about second semester, just look at that top part, that's your first semester. 7th hour, you'll have another core class, and 8th hour, you'll have a study skills, okay? Now, 2 things I want to point out that we're going to change on your schedule just to confuse you even more is we're going to add in, after 5th period, of a time called CPR. Now, it was called TA last year, but we've changed it, okay? So you might hear people still reference it as TA, but it's called CPR, and that's for common period for reading. Now, outside my office, which our middle school helpers will show you, is your CPR group, so please be sure you look at that, okay? Another thing that might change is your study skills group. Again, we've kind of changed how we've put them together. The high school helpers will, when we get to that point, tell you, okay, look at your study skills, make sure that you have the right teacher, okay? And again, this is confusing, but you'll get the hang of it, and we're here to help you, okay? So that's on scheduling. Okay, the next thing, one of my favorite topics is dress code, and I'm being sarcastic because dress code is something we always have to talk about, but you know, it's not always my favorite thing. Just some things, this might be changed from the elementary, everybody's growing up. We have to be very careful about the outfits that we choose. So girls, when you wear tank tops, they have to be, I always like to use my 2 fingers, they have to be wider than your 2 fingers. We don't want any of the spaghetti straps. The biggest thing is we don't want your bra straps showing, right? So like the backs of the shirts that go in and then your bra straps are showing, those aren't acceptable. You'll be asked to change, okay? Your shorts, your skirts, your dresses, you put your hands down to your side. Your dresses, they have to be lower than your fingertips. Again, you'll be asked to change. Now, if you have tights on underneath it, the leggings, that's fine. But don't just wear leggings to school, okay? Wear something over them, because again, you'll be asked to change. Make sure that your tops are not low. Guys and girls, make sure you're not wearing anything that's printed that's inappropriate. And did I cover everything as far as dress code? Okay. I have a lovely selection of clothes that I will have you change into if you don't have something to change into. Things that I found in the lost and found, shirts, pants, so be appropriate. If you think, oh, Mrs. Freeman's gonna find me and make me change, then I would probably change at home before you come, okay? So take a look before you get here. Yes.
We have a lost and found tub out in the hallway. It's always a struggle to keep our hallway somewhat clean. We find stuff laying around and there's a lost and found box. You cannot believe the amount of expensive clothes that are in that lost and found box. And we'll lay them all out 4 times during the year. Not
Mhm.
What did I got?
Yes. Okay, so that's the dress code. We watch it, teachers call me, and I have to come talk to you. It's not the best, students don't like to have that conversation. I don't enjoy having that conversation, so make sure it's appropriate. The next thing that we have, in the elementary, you called it the ZAP program. Over here, we call it Homework Hero and Flags. You are a homework hero if you do not receive a flag any quarter or each quarter. And at the end of the quarter, if you have not been flagged for an assignment, you get to watch a movie. And we have other incentives throughout the year. If you do receive a flag, that means that you came to school and your homework was not done. Or that the teacher said, you did 2 out of 25. You need to work on this because your percentage is going to be 15%, 10% on this assignment. So the flag, once you get flagged, the teacher, you have the choice as a student. You can take the grade, the 15%, if that's what it is, and be done with it. Or if you think, I really need to get some points back on it, you can go to the homework room during 8th period, which is study skills at the end of the day, and work on that assignment. Now, your I guess if you want to say punishment for it, is that you will only receive a 50% on the assignment. And you have to turn it in. So you have a choice. If you're only gonna get a 15%, I would go to homework room, redo it, and try to get those points back. And we can talk about that if you guys have questions individually, come up and see me. But that is our way to get kids, to teach them responsibility. Your assignment's due the next day, you've got to come to class prepared and have it done. And you'll see they're on little flags, little triangle shaped on blue or purple pieces of paper, and the teacher will have you fill it out and bring it to the office, okay? And we keep track of that. And again, if you don't have any, you get to come to the movie each quarter. Okay? The next thing, I kind of mentioned CPR. It's Common Period for Reading. That goes along with our intervention plan. Some of the things that we do here at school to help every student succeed, because that is our goal, that's what we want for you, is to be successful students, is our different things that we do. The first one, like I said, is CPR. That's a 20-minute time after 5th period that you will be broken up into 10 different groups, and those are on my bulletin board, and you will work on reading. Your teacher will have different passages for you to do, to work on in your classroom. Now, that's Monday through Thursday. On Friday, though, we're going to let you have a little bit of fun. We're going to take you up to the gym, and we're going to play games like we usually do on Fridays. Okay, you may have heard rumors about gym day, so that's still going to happen for you. Okay, some of the other intervention things that we do to support your academic progress is we run a DNF list every week, and then every 2 weeks, if your student has a D or an F, you will be getting a phone call from me, or possibly an email from me saying, hey, your student has a D in math, they're missing 4 assignments, something like that. And that's really helped to make the parents more aware of their kids' grade. You can always check Parent Portal for that, but it's a way for you to check your students' grades. National Junior Honor Society students and A+ students can be assigned to study skills to help with homework. If it's maybe an individual or just a class, a group that we need some tutoring to provide that individual support. We do have school-wide recognition programs. We have our character education activities. Those take place once a month, and we honor Student of the Month, Character Student of the Month, Character Education Word Student of the Month, Good Attitude Awards, and so that's a fun time to see students being honored for their achievements on that. Study skills is at the end of the day. Everybody has study skills at one time, so if you have a question in math, you can go ask the math teacher, unless that's your study skills teacher. We also will have at that time, I talked about the flag. If you got a flag or you have any missing work, study skills is the time you will be working on it in a homework room. This has really helped us cut down on our missing work, having a place where students can go to catch up on that missing work. It's 45 minutes. It used to only be 20, but it's 45 minutes now, and we have a math teacher and a communication arts teacher that will be in there with you to answer any questions. Now, we do have some privileges. If you don't have flags and you're doing well in your grades, your attendance is good, You're not on the missing homework list. We're going to reward you once a month. In addition to the movie, you are going to have a day that you get to go out to the Commons, and we're going to give you some snacks, maybe buy you a pop, let you play games in the Commons, just to reward you for doing your job here in the middle school. Okay? Anything else? Okay. Okay. Please see me if you have any questions. I'm here to help you.
Good afternoon. I'm going to take a long time to learn your face because I don't know you very well. So if you see me in the hall and I say hello to you, don't expect me to use your name for the beginning of the school year because it may take me a little while to learn who you are. The things I'm going to touch on are things that you will need to come to the office for most of the time anyway. We want to start out with attendance. If you are absent, you need to report to the middle school office the next morning for an admit slip. You will need a note saying why you were gone, or your parent needed to call in the day before. Either way, I need to know why you were gone. That will decide whether you're excused or unexcused. If you are excused, that means that you can, you'll get full credit for your work when you make it up, but you will, it's your responsibility to give this admit slip to each teacher and ask for the work that you missed. And if you're excused, then you will get full credit for it. If you're unexcused, then your work will be made up with a 15% penalty on it. So that's why I need to know why you're gone. Most of the time, if the note says that you were sick or whatever the reason is, and it's signed by a parent, it is excused, unless your parent decided to let you go hunting, that's unexcused, or for a hair appointment, that's unexcused. But anything else is pretty much excused with a note. If you go to the doctor or the dentist, that also would be good to have a doctor's note with it, and that way it is documented as such. In the middle school, you are only allowed to miss 7 days per semester. And that's why these excused and unexcused is very, very important. Now, if for some reason there is a reason you're gone, death in the family, and so you had to go out of town or something, and so you're gone more than 4 or 5 days of that reason, or you're extremely ill, then you can appeal it if you've lost your 7 days, and that is with a written, there's an appeal process, and you will be able to read it in the handbook that will be given to you the first day of school. I'm sure you have a lot of questions, and I'll be glad to answer them when I'm out in the hallway on absenteeism. But it is really important, when your child misses a day, they miss a lot of instruction. I don't care how many times you try to make it up, you're missing instruction the teacher can't give you the next day or the next day because she's already been there. So, you know, unless they're really ill, try not to let them miss. It's hard for them, especially this is a whole new ball game. It's a little more important. I mean, it's not any more important, let me retract that, than your elementary, but we are stricter than elementary. Because now you're getting ready, this is your 3 years to get ready to go into high school, and then on to college, or on into the world. So we are trying to get you ready for that. You are important to us, and we want you to make the best of what you have to do. Our lunch. Our lunch price has increased. And it is going to be the same price for all students in the Putnam County District from through 12. It used to be K through 5 and then 8 through 12. Now it's K through 12, and it's $1.85 a day or $9.25 a week. Now, we do have the alternative lunch for people that owe more than $20. And at one time, the free and reduced still got to eat regular lunch. Now they do not. If they have gotten second lunches and they have a balance of $20 or more owed, they also will need to eat the alternative lunch, which is peanut butter sandwich, carrots, raisins, and milk. That is new this year, and there will be a lunch insertion into your first day packet that will explain all of this. When a student is on free or reduced and they get a second lunch, it is charged the full price of $1.85. They only get one free or one reduced lunch per day, and anything they get extra is a full lunch. So that's where your balance. I don't know how many times I have gotten calls. I don't know why my child owes $25 for lunch when they get a free lunch. And I go in and look, and they had an extra cookie, or they had 2 entrees, like 2 hot dogs instead of 1. So that goes to full price. And that's where that comes in. We are going to have an automatic, or hope to have an automatic school reach go out when your child is minus $10 in the lunch program. That will give you a chance to keep an eye on the lunch account through the portal, SIS portal, parent portal. Anybody that doesn't have that can get a form from me to sign up for it. That is really nice. You can watch your child's lunch balance. You can go in and see what grades they have. You can check on most everything that happens with your child on the student portal.
And I would be glad to show anybody how to use Portal. If you already have it set up, you use your name, password, or I will get you set up with it. And I'd be glad to show you. It has a lot of new stuff that you can use. So please see me if you would like that.
Okay, your lunch money can be given in the library or bring to the office every Monday morning, or if you didn't bring it on Monday, you can bring it on Tuesday. If Mrs. McDonald is not in the library, then you can just bring it to the office. And I will take it, and we will take care of that. If you ever have any questions on your balance, don't be afraid to call the office and say, I don't know how come my child owes this. Or if you happen to look and your child was showed as being absent a day and you didn't think they were gone, don't be afraid to call me, and I can pull it up and I can tell you why it's that way. Sometimes if a child is a little late in a class and the teacher is too busy or such, and it's only put down that they're absent, but then they turn around and they're here. And sometimes it takes me 2 hours to find out that they've been here. And so they've been counted absent. And if that shows up on the SIS, then that's why. But then I can go back and find out. So don't be afraid to call for any questions at all. You will be getting, and I know you are all excited about the beautiful first day packet that you get. A lot of pages, a lot of paperwork, a lot of signatures. They are important or you would not get them. And we ask that you be sure to sit down with your child and look and read the AUP, which is your Internet Acceptance Policy, Acceptance Use Policy, and get that signed. They cannot get on the computers until that form is given to me, and I give it to Mr. Schnockenberg, and he gets them active. So be sure that comes in. You have your health card, that needs to come in. Everything on the front of your packet, it will say, these things need to be signed and returned to the office by Friday. And you will get it on Monday. You will also get your handbook. And on the front of your handbook will be a contract that you have read it with your child and that you sign it and the child signs it. And that also needs to turn. I don't want the handbook back. I just want the little piece of paper that says you have read it. And in that handbook will be all the policies for the middle school. It's a lot of reading, but it really needs to be done with the first day or two of school. And if you have more than one child in school, then you can probably do them all right then. And I feel for you because I had 5 children, so I know what it's like, and they were all in school at the same time, at one time, and then they began to graduate. And it is a lot of work, but it's for a reason, and we need that all turned in. If it's there to be turned in, it needs to be turned in, and I will hound your child after the last 3 or 4 days. Then I'll begin to say, I don't have this for you. I mean, I won't be mean, but I will say, I really need it. Please turn it in. Okay? I think that's pretty much, class dues. In the middle school, you have class dues and they're $2 a year. That's not a lot, but it needs to be paid because it will travel with your child all the way till they're seniors. And then that will go to their senior trip and to their junior senior prom, that type of thing. So you can either pay just year by year, or you can pay all $6 for all 3 years if you want to. And it will be given to the school's class sponsor, and they will find out who their class sponsor is in the beginning of the school year. Also, if you have fines and fees or lunch account over $50, you will not be allowed to attend any extra activities such as school dance or a field trip or anything like that. So please try to keep that down. Anytime you get a little bit behind and you are having a hard time catching up, which with the economy, it's hard, and I know that. If you have a payment plan, go into the superintendent's office or such and have a payment plan and pay so much a month, by golly, then that's we're going to waive that. But it has to be an active one. Okay, I think I got it all. Oh, we'll be giving them an agenda this year, and that will be given to you, and you will need to have homework. Your study skills teacher will check it, right?
Yes.
And that needs to be with you every day, where you put your homework listed in it, and you get you'll know what you need to do, and they will check that to make sure you have that.
That way you get to study skills and you forgot that you had an assignment. It's written in your book, and your study skills teacher can say, oh, look, there is an assignment you have to work on. Okay, so just an organizational tool for you. All right. A couple more things, and I'll quit boring you. Once again, our theme is Hawaiian Beach this year. Aaron, will you turn to page 13? We want parents to be involved. If you're coming into the building, however, we do want you to report to the office first. All right. Don't go directly to a classroom. You interrupt the classroom. That means while you're talking to that teacher, there's 20 plus kids sitting there not doing anything. Okay. So all of our teachers have a planned period during the day. They're also contracted before and after school for a certain amount of time. So there's times that you can set up an appointment to meet with the teacher, but not to the detriment of the other kids that are in the class. All right. So we ask that you come in and see Joyce in the office first, or call ahead, and say, hey, Mr. Freeman, when can I come in and talk to you about little Johnny or whatever? All right. So if you would do that, that would make sure that, the rest of the kids are getting the quality instruction that they deserve. we typically would hand out our handbook right now to you, okay? However, we're still waiting on the school board to vote on a couple of changes, all right? We're waiting on some new policies in place. There's legal hoops to check that make sure that everything is hunky-dory, so to speak, and so we don't have that to give to you today. We will have it for you on the first day of school. Looking at the tardy policy, all right, up on the screen, all right, it's different here now. You've got 3 minutes in between bells to get from one class to another, all right? So if you don't make it, there will be consequences. For every action that you ever have, there's a choice, right? Your consequence could be good, your consequence could be bad, but there's always a consequence, all right? So first, tardy, teacher confers with student. Second, tardy, there's a detention warning. Third, teacher may elect to send them to me, or he or she may assign a detention on their own. Fourth, they're definitely coming to see me. Fifth, and subsequent tardies, there'll be suspensions. Okay. We hope it doesn't get that far. Once again, middle school, more activities, more privileges. We see kids come from the elementary, and I know before it was bubbles and tails or whatever. Okay, we don't have to do that, but you're not going to go screaming and running through the halls. I can tell you that. Okay, so little decorum. We always go like kids walk the halls in the morning, but they all go the same way, so we don't have a lot of head-on collisions coming around corners and stuff. Okay, you guys will catch on to that real quick. Cruising. Okay. There you go. You can't afford to do that anymore because of the price of gas, right? All right. Teachers, like I said, they're here before school and they're here after school till 3:45. So all of our teachers are unless they have coaching responsibilities, are really good about giving extra help. If your child's having trouble grasping something, please have him or her talk to the teacher. And my teachers work really hard to make sure that kids are getting it. All right, and that they will offer extra help for them. Flunking a class and attendance, something that's changed now. If your child flunks a class, a core class, which there's 5 of, math, language arts, reading, science, and social studies, okay? One of those classes, all right, they will be required to come to summer school to make those hours up, okay? If they go over on their attendance policy and have exhausted their appeals process, they will also be required to come to summer school. I do want you to understand on the attendance policy, whether it's excused or unexcused, you have 7, okay? Now, that doesn't mean if I was in the hospital for 7 days that I couldn't appeal it, and we would say, of course, that's fine, all right? But we want students to take responsibility for it. They'll write the letter. There'll be a committee of myself and I believe 3 other staff members that meets, and we will go through that and determine if it was warranted or not, okay? Much like if you had a job, and regardless if you were sick or not, and you miss that job continuously over and over, eventually your boss is going to say, I'm sorry you're sick all the time, but I got to have someone here to work, So that's the way it is in life, and although we're not near that drastic, that's kind of what the responsibility, the attitude we want kids to take, because this is their job, right? Learning and growing, all right? Aaron, if you turn to page 14. Cell phone usage. Want to let you know that sometimes our teachers do let kids, and I'm not just talking about cell phones, but electronic devices in general. Sometimes our teachers, if they're doing independent work in their classroom, they will let them listen to music or something like that. We do not want that going on in the hallway, okay? So if the teacher's letting you've got study skills, you're working on a project, the teacher says, hey, if you want to listen to music, that's great. I'm good with that, okay, but we don't want you running down the hallway with your headphones on, you can't hear what's going on, anything like that, all right? So when you get ready to leave class, you need to put it away, you need to turn it off, all right? If you violate the cell phone policy the first time, we'll take the phone away, it'll be given to Joyce, she'll keep it, we'll inform the parents, the student can pick it up after school. Happens again, all right, we'll inform the parents, and the parents can pick it up after school. Okay, we're not giving it back to the student. Okay, happens the third time. Where is it? Third time, in-school suspension. Okay, not so much fun. Right? You get to hang out with Joyce and I all day. Although we're fun people, but not as much fun as probably hanging out with your friends. Okay, in class. Okay, and then after that, it escalates. Okay, so. We're very serious about preventing sexting and bullying. One of the reasons we're so tight on phones, you know, everything has capabilities of taking photographs, all right? You are not allowed to take any device that can take photographs into a locker room or a bathroom. The penalties for doing that will be much more severe than just a regular cell phone violation. That is one of the new guidelines why the handbook is not printed yet, okay? Because the school board is still deciding what exactly they want that to be, okay? So I can't give you a definitive set of guidelines on that yet, but I will tell you it will be much more severe. Reason being, that's something that happens if you had taken a picture of somebody in a compromising, you know, naked or body part showing or something like that and send it to someone else. Now that's something that can follow you all the way into your adult life, okay, for child pornography, all right, regardless if you're a child or not, okay? So it's very serious. It's very serious that students understand that, and we will have people, we'll have probably the Highway Patrol in to talk about it. We usually do every year, but it'll be posted outside the bathrooms. No electronic devices in the bathrooms, okay? So we're serious about that because we don't want anybody to screw up their life, right? Bullying we also take very seriously, and you know we have forms if someone thinks there's bullying going on, we have forms in the office that they can fill out. We will look into it. There is a difference between bullying and someone teasing you. Okay, bullying is someone being in a position of power repeatedly. Putting someone else down over a period of time, okay? It's not like your hair looks weird. That's not bullying, okay? However, if you are constantly using your position of power to make someone else feel inferior, then that's bullying, and only way that we can do anything about it is if we know about it, all right? So we'll have some special, I have a guy coming in who's going to do a program on bullying, who I guarantee it's going to be an awesome presentation. I've known him for a long time, okay? I'm looking forward to it because he'll be a very entertaining speaker, but he'll have a really good message to it, okay? Our bus drop off, we want you not to walk through and out past the elementary. We want everyone going through the high school, okay? That's when you're dropped off in the morning and after school, all right? Once you're going through the high school. Now in the morning, come in, you're dropped off up front, you stop and get your tray, bring it down on to the middle school commons, and middle schoolers eat breakfast down here in the middle school commons, okay? At lunch, we will eat in the high school commons, but we have separate lunch shifts for the most part, from the high school. We'll keep you on separate tables anyway, okay? Our grading scale, Aaron, on page 22. We have a consistent grade scale now with both the high school and middle school, as you'll see there. Below 59 is an F, 60 to 69 a D, 70 to 79 a C, 80 to 89 a B, and 90 to 100 is an A. So Mr. Watt and I have worked hard the last 3 years to try to make things, although not everything is going to be equivalent, to make things consistent between the middle school and high school, so that you're familiar with what happens and the way things work by the time you get to high school. Now, it won't be exactly the same, but it will be, for the most part, consistent. Also on page 22, nurse and hall passes. Is that there? Scroll down a little bit. Hall passes, okay? In your classroom, if you need to sign out to go to the bathroom, if you need to go to see the nurse, you'll check out with your teacher. She'll have a sign-out sheet. She or he will have a sign-out sheet by the door. Instead of in the past, it was they went to the office, and then we lost track of kids because they weren't reporting back to who they... Anyway, we've cut out the middleman, so to speak, okay? So you'll be doing it directly with the teacher. The teacher will have a pencil pass. Only one student will be out of the room at a time. Now, of course, if there's an emergency, then that's different. It's like, I got to go right now. Go, okay? I mean, of course, if it happens every day at 9:09, then that's a little more suspicious. But we only want a limited amount of kids in the hallway at the time without supervision. That's the main reason. Late homework, Aaron, if you turn to page 24. All right, students who turn in their work late, they'll get 50% credit of their score. After 1 week, they will get a 0 for the assignment. That's consistent with the high school as well, okay? So we told you already, we don't want you to take a low score for it, okay? But we are going to, if you are unexcused, you're late with it, the maximum you can get is 50% for up to a week, and then you'll get a 0. Now, if you were sick and you're gone, of course, that is different. You'll get those days that you were gone to make it up and before it's determined to be late. All right. A point of emphasis for us this year is our literacy. As a district, we are working hard to make sure that our students can all read at grade level, okay? So we've developed a literacy plan, and that's part of the point of emphasis on our CPR reading time during the day, teacher-led discussion about reading passages. This is, like I said, district-wide. We're doing testing at every grade level, K through 12, or maybe, start at K, Gayla? Okay. K through 12 with the Gates-McGinnity test at the start and end of the year to determine where your child is according to where they should be, all right? And then we're trying to eliminate that from the bottom up, but at our level, we're also trying to help those, that are behind a little bit. And it's not to penalize anybody. It's because if you can't read, you pretty much are behind the gun on everything as far as education, right? That is the basic skill that we have to have in order to do everything else. So we feel that always have all these new educational trends every year, but it goes back to the one-room school where, reading, writing, and arithmetic. That's basically the most important things, and sometimes things get more complicated than they need to, and sometimes they come back around full circle, and that's when it's going to be our district-wide point of emphasis right now, is getting everybody up to speed on reading. We have, as I mentioned before, excellent facilities. Mr. Schnockenberg does a great job with our electronics. We have either a smart board or a Promethean board in every room in the district. We have computers available pretty much, if not in every classroom, then we have laptop carts. We have one in the middle school office where students can check out computers. Now, we prefer to only have 3 kids in at a time checking them out unless a teacher comes in and checks the whole card out and takes it to their room. All right? But kids are going to sign them out. We expect them to go back in the slot and be plugged in so that when the next kid comes in, they're not out of juice and then they don't have anything to use. Okay? So just show a little courtesy to other people. Like I said, we have exceptional, tools and facilities here, but common courtesy and responsibility make sure that everybody else is going to be able to use them as well. And I'm going to shut up and
This and other school programs available on DVD at any building office.